for those who have never heard of me or don't know the news about me, I wrote The Matrix and The Terminator. It comes from my book called The Third Eye. What happened was in the late 70s, I saw Star Wars and I understood George Lucas's concept. I was quite shocked to know that Star Wars is like the wars in heaven, and Darth Vader is like Satan falling from the light to the dark. And he just put that story and his point of view in science fiction form, and I was like quite shocked to see someone defending Satan's point of view. So it was born in me to write the second coming of Christ, or man versus the machine, or the evolution of consciousness. And that's how I came up with The Matrix, which is the third eye, because it doesn't matter if they stole it or bought it from me, the book and the movie treatment, which is a form of script. It still would have been called The Matrix and Terminator, and that's why a lot of people don't understand that in Hollywood and with the Hollywood studios, you do not have rights to creativity or to participate in that part.
Okay.
So now back to my story. I was shopping my work to Fox because I knew George Lucas, the director, was there, and he had done such a phenomenal job on Star Wars. I didn't know that Star Wars was his actual work. I just thought that he was the director. I just remembered that, and I wanted him to direct my work. So I sent a movie treatment, which is a form of script, over to Fox in 1981. May of 1981, and the Vice President Susan Mesbach contacted me. They were blown away. They just gone by the movie treatment, The Third Eye. And they asked me, did I have anything else written on it, and I told them I was currently writing a book on it, and they said, great, send us the book because we're interested in buying it. And okay, I didn't finish the book until actually 3 years later, in 1983, the winter of 83. And I contacted her, and she had moved over to Paramount, and she told me to send it to David Madden via Valerie Red. And I sent it over to them, and then that's when the runaround came about. They kept running me around and telling me to get an agent. I got an agent, and then they told me I needed an agent with the Gill, and I went, and that placed me between a rock and a hard place. And of course, all this time they was giving me the runaround because they were making The Terminator behind my back. I didn't know because I never saw the movie. Actually didn't find out about it until of 2001 when the FBI told me that The Terminator was also a part of my book and that I had written it. And because I found out about The Matrix March the 31st, 1999, when I went and saw the Matrix movie during the first release of the movie. And I saw my work on the screen, and I was kind of shocked because I hadn't sold it to anybody. And as soon as I contacted them, they knew me and everything. They offered me a settlement and a gag order immediately. But I aborted that settlement because some witnesses from Warner Brothers had seen the Wachowskis use my book on the movie set, and they told me to go ahead and abort that settlement. And I did, and went to the FBI, and that's how the FBI got involved. Darwin speaks about, brags about, and very proud of. And this is where the beast comes from. The white apes were walking upright in the garden. That's right, they walked upright. Apes walked upright back then, just like men. They even showed it on television. They found a throwback where he was just walking around proudly like a man. And what they did was, the fallen ones, they came to the earth, the fallen angels that left their stations, and they said, let us create man in our image and our likeness. And they took the atom that Beverly was talking about, the ATOM, not the ADAM, but the ATOM, and they grafted a face upon the white beast, and they called him mankind, or a kind of man, but not a human being. You see, when you take that atom, you can split that atom and you can create life on one end of the spectrum. And if you split the atom the other way, you can create death because you'll create the atomic bomb or the nuclear bomb. And this is what the Jewish guy, Freud, was talking about, or relativity. This is what they were talking about, but it's the same atom. One part of the atom, when you split it, creates life. Einstein, that's right, with relativity, Einstein was talking about when you split the atom and you create the nuclear bomb or the atomic bomb. And so let us go back to the fallen ones. And so when they grafted a face upon the beast and called them mankind, and this is how Darwin said that we evolved, or he evolved from an ape into a man. Now, they were the children of the gods, the ones that you read about in mythology, the Hercules and the Apollos and the giants and the Minotaurs and the Medusas and so forth. Now, this is where the beast or the warmonger or the fornicator or the murderer and the liar that Cain came from. Do you see what I'm saying? And these are the children of the gods. A lot of people have never broke these down to you. You've heard the word sons of God, but the preacher's always telling you in church, well, the sons of God, who's the sons of God? Well, if you love each other and you're all at one and you belong to a religion or something, you're sons of God. No, they don't explain to you that there are other entities upon the earth and that man has been creating these other entities for years. And it goes all the way back when God told Solomon and David not to marry those clones and drones. He didn't tell them don't marry any foreign women. There were no nationalities and race and color and creed. That stuff was made up by man to distract you from the truth, to separate you. There were no foreign wives. He was telling them not to marry any clones or drones because knowledge was passed down for the human beings by marrying another human being. The knowledge would be passed down through the DNA. And what are the clones doing? The clones are trying to enslave mankind. Why? How are they doing that? They got the machines and technology dominating over human kindness, over love, and over compassion. What are they doing? Putting the human beings out of their house on the streets, putting women and children in the streets, killing innocent people that have nothing to do with any of this that's going on. And you ask yourself, why is this going on? Because the human beings have put them in authority, have put them in positions of authority. And why is that? They volunteered. There's no gun to any human being's head. There is nobody making any human beings do anything. What are the machines doing? They're preying on the kindness, the trust, the empathy, the understanding, the love of the human beings. They're using all of that to destroy them.
Right.
And it's sad because you can't tell the difference, because when you look at everybody, everybody looks like a human being, but everybody is not a human being. When you listen to them and you see what they're doing, a human being will stop and have kindness and compassion. I think God called him the Good Samaritan. And where the clones and the drones, which are the beasts, will just walk right on past you and let you die. Won't even give you a drop of water. Won't give you any food. Won't even say, we need to correct that. That's wrong. Now, but how can they if there's no right and wrong in them? The clones and the drones are machines. In other words, they're controlling. They're like, controlling and soulless. Do you see what I'm saying? And since the human beings have choices and they have compassion and they have love, well, the clones and drones are liking this. They don't have that. And you can start testing around you because you can tell if you're dealing with a clone or a drone as opposed to someone who's a human being. A human being is going to always have compassion, love, and understanding and sympathy. And as the drones, they're only into murder. They have no kind of understanding. They have no kind of compassion. They have no kind of love. I mean, when you see all the killing and the ignorance in the world, it's because of the drones. And when you see all the technology that is ruthlessly killing out the human beings or enslaving them or making life miserable for them, those are the clones.
on the information that you're presenting here, where does that leave African Americans in terms of our racial mixture in the U.S.?
Well, in the beginning, there's no such thing as any colors in African Americans and nationality. I told you that man has created all of these things: race, color, creed, disability, sex, age. All of this stuff is to divide and conquer. Don't you see? It separates you. It does not bring you together. It was never created to bring you together. It was created to separate you, to make one group think they're better or superior than the other group.